Hello YouTube friends, Alicia back here with you. So I got into my craft room a little bit yesterday and was working on using some scraps. I had initially thought I should go through, I was working in my personal journal. It got wet in the flood, so I was trying to add some things to cover up, the fact that it was wet. I was able to dry it out, but of course ink ran and things like that because I use a digital. So I was just adding a few things to it and decorating so that it wasn't quite as obvious that it had got wet in the flood. And then I was like, okay, I should do some organizing and decluttering in my craft room. So I had gone and opened a drawer that I have like scraps and digitals and things like that that just are in this drawer in envelopes, which I'll show you there to the side of me. And I was like, okay, I should declutter this because I keep thinking I'm overwhelmed with stuff. But instead of decluttering, what I've done, and I mean, I may go back during declutter, is I started creating, which was really, in some ways, more productive than decluttering because I've kept this stuff because I want to use it. So, I mean, if I can use it instead of declutter it, that's obviously better for me. So I'm just going to show you real quick. I made some like books, and I know there's a lady on YouTube and on Facebook that talks about, using her scraps. Her name's Barbara. And it's not necessarily scraps like that. Like, I don't have trouble with scrapbooking scraps and cardstock scraps. I have that all very organized. And that's often my go-to stuff. So that's not the thing that overwhelms me. What I get overwhelmed with is other things, even though they're organized. So what I did was, because I do primarily card making and junk journaling and things like that, I have all kinds of cutoffs and papers for junk journals and card making and whatever, and printables, and I had them all in, like I said, plastic organizers, vintage game pieces, instructions, and I've kept them, and some of them for years. And this is a printable that I treated with linseed oil, I think it is. I can't remember. It smells awful, and the smell never totally went away. I was not super happy. It makes the paper like transparent, like a vellum, but I don't know. I don't like the smell of it, and I don't like the fact that it's dry now, but it's dry to the touch, but it still wants to almost leave an oil residue for a very long time after. So I don't think I'll do that technique again, but I had the papers for it, and so I wanted to use it, so I made a little book. And these will just go in journals as embellishment pieces, or extra writing pieces, not really embellishments. I added some bead dangles that I made forever ago, because I like to make things more than I like to use them. So I added those to the side, and then this is a wallpaper scrap. And one thing I actually did, when my place flooded, I lost 3 wallpaper books. They had gotten wet, and then I got rid of 2 more. So then I think I now have 4 left, 3 left. I had a pile of them. One of them is a girl themed one. One of them is oh my goodness, different cartoons like that had Spider-Man and Tinkerbell and all that kind of thing in them. And then I think I have a little girl one, and then a couple for vintage style ones, and the rest obviously either I got, like I said, they got wrecked in the flood, and some of them I just donated back to the thrift store because I don't need, I didn't need like 12 of them. And it was overwhelming. They were huge to store, and I always felt like I have to use them, but I didn't want to use them because I just didn't want to. So instead of feeling like I have to use them, I passed them on and just kept, a couple. So anyways, this is a scrap that I had from a wedding album, or yeah, a wedding album I made my mom years ago. So, and this is the cupcake liner, and then well, they're both cupcake liners, just different styles. The decorative, and then the one that goes in the cake pan, and an After 8 pouch. Cupcake liner, stamping, dyed paper. And I mean, like I said, some of this stuff have been in like my scrap things for like, 10 years. And it was just time to use it. Dyed papers. So they'll go into my journals. Those are the 2 books I sewed. Then I've seen these somewhere, like little papers that I just clipped together. And all kinds of papers. And I just used a brad. I might sew some, because I do have some more. And this same thing, these are all just different papers that I had that I kept for a reason, so I may as well use them and stick them in a journal. Not tons of rhyme or reason to them. I mean, this one has some pink ones in it. And there's everything, like, coffee dyed vellum, yellow paper, handmade paper, watercolor. So it's not that I could do different techniques even on them. I figured, like, I can play with the vellum. I could take them apart, in the journal if I want to. It's a way to have lots of different papers. And then this one, this is from a Marilyn Monroe journal I did, once again, years ago. And it was just full different laces. From a game. Different writing paper. So I made those. I have some other ones, and then I was starting to lose inspiration, so I stopped because I don't feel like crafting should be, a chore. So I will go back now and finish them because I want to go back in there now. And then the tops of these are just brads. I love this brad, the little foam brad. Once again, I've had them for years, and so I think decluttering is important, but I think we don't need to feel like we have to declutter things that we want to use. So I have that, and I'm going to show you a little bit like the envelopes that I'm talking about. So like there's this one. Oh, it's really glaring. And it has digitals. My own stuff that I've made. The top one's Tsunami Rose, like all different digitals. And sometimes they're in there because they're misprints. Sometimes they're in there because I didn't know where to put them. Sometimes there's all different reasons. And it's just, I want to go, either I want to use them up or get rid of them, right? Like I don't want to keep storing things. I guess that's kind of where I'm at. I didn't use anything out of this, but this is just kind of rainbow stuff. Drawings from my nephews. Tissue-like papers. Another one of those. No, these are just digitals. But I'm just showing you. I have I have stacks of different papers here. This is just odds and ends. This is where that wrapping paper came from. Different techniques I'll try. I'll shove it all in there. Little bag of them. This actually goes in there. And then this was like some of the writing paper and stuff. So this is the kind of scraps and stuff I want to work through and get them down. And trust me, I have lots more things I could put in these envelopes. And I think sometimes we need to change the variety of things that we have at our fingertips, because I very much have my craft room set up that everything's at my fingertips that I grab all the time. So it's nice to have different variety of things as well that we see to keep us inspired. So anyways, that is what I've worked on. Let me know what you think of them. And I'm going to go back to working on them. Talk to y'all soon.